Hello, my name is Sophie Grimme and I will present our paper Pet Robot or Appliance, Care Home Residents with Dementia Respond to a Zoomorphic Floor Washing Robot. Due to the global demographic change and thus an aging society, the number of aging adults in need of care is increasing. With a higher age, the probability of being affected with a disease like dementia is also increasing. This incline leads to a major challenge for the public health in care homes. There is a healthcare shortage because more people are in the need of care than healthcare workers are available to provide, which can lead to overloaded professionals. Healthcare robotics can open new possibilities in reducing the burden on caregivers and help to improve the lives of residents. With our study, we aim to explore smart assistive technologies that are accepted by older people without causing anxiety or stress. We place our work on the boundary between functional and social robotics and answer the question: can a zoomorphic robotic vacuum cleaner with a playful moving pattern be accepted by people with dementia without them getting scared? We engaged in a human-centered design process with 2 Danish care homes, starting with a pre-study that lasted approximately 2 months. During the extended observations, it was found that it is a challenge for the staff to keep the common areas and especially the floors clean. It takes too much time, and previous trials with 2 Roomba robots were unsuccessful. Although these functionally worked, residents became afraid of them. Some staff explained that the Roomba looked like a moving black hole to the dementia patients and therefore had to be rejected. Therefore, we focus on exploring the design of a more relatable floor cleaner, taking inspiration from play theory, toys for dementia treatment, and the practice of a visiting clinical clown. One of our goals was to incorporate a playful perspective in the development of assistive robots that also integrate emotional, cognitive, and functional aspects. As people with dementia often have problems in reporting their needs and dislikes, we conducted interviews with stakeholders of the cooperating care homes to learn about users' needs and behaviors in activities of daily living. We decided to use a pet helper metaphor for our robot and named it Sanna, a Danish female name and short for sanitizing unit. We decided on a cat because it is familiar, domestic animal, and staff noted that some residents reacted with irritation when interacting with Paro, a seal. We were told that people with dementia respond positively to toys with big eyes, so we focused on this and a happy static face. It was also reported that residents are sensitive to colors, so we chose orange as a stimulating and easily perceived color. The robot needed to have a slow and predictable movement pattern inspired by the way the clinical clown approaches residents. The images here show the evolution of Sanna, from the initial idea of a turtle to a cat to a 3D model in the lower left, and finally the printed shell that was painted and mounted on a turtlebot robot. In the first test, Sanna did not yet have a cleaning function, as we were only testing the design and general acceptance of the robot. We conducted observations in 2 care homes in Odense with a prototype of Sanna. We visited 6 different house units and observed the behavior of 30 residents. They all have later stages of dementia or other cognitive impairments. The test took place at 3 days and lasted from 30 to 70 minutes. In total, we gathered 2 hours and 50 minutes recorded video material from 2 cameras. The focus of the study was on the perception of Sanna and whether residents would get scared. We were also interested in finding out how a robot should move around people with dementia without scaring them or intruding their activity, and whether the activity level of the residents influenced their reaction on Sanna. We therefore tested before and during lunchtime. The robot was remote controlled with the Wizard of Oz method to enable a flexibility to react to emerging situations. The researchers tried to hide from the residents or sometimes sat with them to blend in the scenery. One of the most important findings is that no resident was afraid of Sanna. The majority reacted positively and with interest to the robot, where only some residents actively ignored it. Ignoring the robot was nevertheless considered positive because Sanna's main purpose is to clean the floor, and secondly, to provide the residents with a talking point or entertainment aspect. Most residents were able to recognize Sanna without help from the care staff or the research team. We found residents' best responses to the robot were when they had low activity levels, such as sitting or standing. When residents were engaged in meals, conversation, or activities, they tended to respond neutrally. When approaching the residents, we used a wiggling movement pattern that can be seen in the video. We found that the residents responded positively to this motion by directing their attention to the robot and even lured it, as you can see in the video, with the feet of the resident. When Sanne was introduced to the residents, they showed more interest in engaging with the robot when it was introduced as a cleaning device. One resident, for example, asked if Sanne carries water inside of it, which shows the acceptance of the cleaning function. The residents reacted more critically and even rejectingly when the robot was introduced as a cat. In many situations, it was evident that the residents understood the technical aspect of the robot, and they even commented on it. One resident, for example, asked if Sanne is walking on wheels. Others knocked on the hard material, which clearly indicates the recognition of a technical object. The residents reacted very positive towards Sanne, and some interaction even ended with talking, luring, and touching her. We also saw as-if interactions when the residents were informed that Sanne is cleaning the floors, and they still approached her like a real cat. One resident, for example, said, "You can't really feel that, can you?" which shows the as-if interaction. In summary, none of the residents reacted in a confused, irritated, or even scared manner, which was the main goal of the study. In conclusion, people in the advanced stage of dementia accept a cleaning device in the form of a pet better than a conventional cleaning robot. Our study proves that the introduction of a functional robot with the design of a toy-like animal can be accepted and can provide social meaning to the residents. For the future, we plan to further investigate the movement patterns, conduct noise tests in the care homes, and create a safety protocol. We also want to consider different materials for haptic feedback and compare our design of Sanne to a more abstract design in future tests. Thank you for your attention. We are looking forward to your feedback and questions, and you can contact us at any time.